So I will be sharing with you exactly what I did to grow a business from basically nothing to over $1 million in 18 months. And not just that, I'm also going to share with you what I think are going to be the best general tips that anybody could use. If you're currently stuck in a job you hate, you're working a 9 to 5, you're working that grind Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, and you hate your job, you hate your lifestyle, you want to get out of that, you want to be a bit more free, have more choices, be anywhere you want, earn good money, start to actually own things, own homes, own assets that can actually free your time and give you choices in life. Well, I feel with that. But before I talk about it, I am aware this is the very first video I'm posting on this channel. It's so new that I don't even have a name settled on yet for this channel as I'm recording this video. So I do need to tell you a little bit about me, a little bit about my background, and sort of get that credibility out of the way, okay? Not to brag, but I'm gonna post on the screen here my results for 2023. That's from January to, as I'm recording, it's October. So January to October, we're not finished for the year yet, but you can see we did, and I'm memorizing this because I don't see the screen in front of me. It's about $1.6 million or $1.5 million, something like that, so far to date. We're probably gonna do around about $2 million by end of year, and that's just from our sales in one business. We also have a crypto mining farm. We actually have more than one, but we've got several crypto mining farms that generate passive income in Bitcoins, and that basically pays for our lifestyle regardless of what happens to our business. Shit hits the fan, I'm disabled or whatever, there's still money coming in passively. So passive income, yes. $1 million business, yes. We've got them both. Again, I don't do that to brag. I do that to sort of just show you I am a person that understands how to go from absolutely nothing to actually becoming a multimillionaire. I started off with absolutely nothing. I've been hustling since I was about 15, 16 years old. My first few mentors weren't the best mentors, I'll be upfront, but that's life. You learn from your mistake. When I was about, so it was 2016, I moved to Indonesia. 2017, through certain circumstances, I basically ended up homeless and nothing to my name. So that was tough. And if you understand Indonesia, it's not a country with welfare payments. Nobody's giving out free food or anything. So there were times where I had to sort of like scavenge and do what sorts. So I've lived that life, but thankfully I gained skills along the way. I never sort of caved in and decided to come back, thankfully, although it was hard. And in 2020, we had our first break, okay? COVID hit and I happened to be good at Facebook advertising. Through that experience, I was able to basically pick up on the wave of all these people that couldn't sell stuff because they don't know how to do it online. And so they came to me and joined our courses, joined our programs to learn how to do Facebook ads and digital marketing in general. So that's the first time we broke into the 6 figures of wealth. Ups and downs went through from there, and in 2022, we started off with a crypto mining business and basically grew that business from nothing to multi-million dollars anyway in just over 18 months. Okay, so that's a little bit about my story out of the way, but that being said, that's not what you came here for. Let's get to the useful stuff. I'm gonna start off with, okay, so if you're currently in a job that you don't really enjoy, you hate it basically, it's 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, I'll tell you what, the hardest thing about starting a business or a side hustle in that situation is that you don't have enough time. I'll explain this. It's not just it doesn't matter what motivation comes from other people, right? The reality is you're waking up 6 or 7 a.m., getting ready to go to work, you're stuck in traffic for an hour or two, you get to work at 9, you clock in, you work till 5, you're stuck in traffic again on the way home. By the time you get home, it's about 6:37. If you got kids or if you got a partner, you're doing stuff, your laundry, you're cooking, you're looking after the kids, you're playing with the kids. By the time you're wrapped up with all of that, you are dead tired. How the hell do you focus on a business like that? Fair enough, right? So that's a common situation that I find with a lot of my friends now. I'm turning 30 soon. A lot of my friends my age that I went to high school with, they're in that exact situation. I understand that picture very well because they're my dearest friends, right? And they're coming to me now and going, how do I get out of this? And I can give my 2 cents for that. And I'm gonna share that with you guys. So the first thing you need to prioritize is gaining time freedom because it's not realistic to get a 5-figure, 6-figure per month business when you can only focus 2 hours on it a day or 1 day per week on it, Like a good business is like a child. You need to focus on it, right? So the first priority is time freedom. This might involve working less hours for less pay. It's not the ideal situation, but if that's what you need, that might be what you need to do. What you choose will depend on what obligations you have right now. If you've already got a mortgage, if you've already got kids, I'll tell you what, it's a struggle. There's no way around it, right? That's the reality of it. Versus if you're a single person, no mortgage, no debts, no nothing, you're just paying rent, you're just slogging through every single day as a single debtless person, then you got a lot more choices, okay? Now, that being said, don't get discouraged. If you're in a tougher situation, well, that's fine, all right? There's always a solution out of it. Now, let's talk solutions. Number 1, work less hours, less pay. I've already talked about that. It's the easiest one to do quickly, but it might not suit you if you've already got a lot of obligations, okay? Second choice, invest your spare earnings to gain passive cash flow so that now you can work less hours, okay? So what do I mean by that? A lot of people don't realize how quick it is to turn $5,000 into $1 million. Let's go through the theory first, and maybe on a separate video on another time, I'll post exactly what type of assets can do this. But let's just talk theory first. If you take $5,000 and you double that 5,000 over and over and over again, how many times do you need to double it to get to $1 million? Well, let's calculate. 5,000 turns to 10,000 on the first time, to 20,000 the second time, 40,000 third time, 80,000, 160,000, 320,000, 640,000, and on the 8th time, 5,000 has turned into $1.28 million, right? So investing your way to freedom is literally just finding 8 opportunities to double your wealth. Whatever it is you have aside. If you're starting with $500, then you start with $500. If you have $2,000, you start with $2,000. If you happen to have $50,000, $100,000, well, it's a lot easier for you. But that's literally the goal. And all rich people, all wealthy people, they understand this. They understand that life is, or money side of life, is literally just finding opportunities to double your wealth safely, consistently, right? So that's the second option, is having assets on the side that allow you to then, work less hours and so forth. You can do that very passively. There's lots of investments. We'll talk about those investments, separate video. Thirdly is you can look into things like literally negotiating your way to get time off, right? So one of my good friends, he's got about $100,000 saved up in cash. He's got no debt. He's got nothing of that sort. And I was like, well, you're in your 30s now. Well, you're heading into 30. This is your last decade to really get at it, right? Once you're in your 40s, 50s, you can still make it. It's never too late, but it gets a lot harder. Your knees aren't as strong. Your mind's not as focused, etc. when you're reaching your 50s, right? So you're 30 soon. You got this last decade to really get at it and live life with no regrets. That flipped the switch. Well, I actually asked him, I said, if you quit your job now and you focused on a business for 6 months, 12 months, whatever it was, let's say the worst case happens, it failed. Can you go back to your job and pick up from where you left off pretty easily? Like go back to where you used to work, ask for the job back. You might get slightly lower pay, you might get the same pay, but your life's not that worse off after 6 to 12 months of having to go, literally giving it a shot. And his answer was, yeah, I think that's possible, right? And I said, okay, well, so what's your choice? You want to work the next 10 years doing exactly what you've done now, which, by the way, you still don't have a home. You know what I mean, right? You're not free. You can't go anywhere in the world and know that money's coming in, right? So do you want that for the next 10 years? Or do you want to have a go 6 to 12 months, right? I can help you where building a business is concerned because you've seen me. I've already built $1 million business. This is me talking to him, right? I said, but give it a go. 6 to 12 months, focus on it, right? And have your best shot at changing your life now. When you've got the most energy, you got the most focus, you're still young, and you can afford to screw up and get back up even if you fail, right? Last chance, you in or out. And now, finally, he's come back to me and said, yeah, I think I'm going to quit my job. I was like, how do I live for the next 12 months at the lowest budget? I was like, move to Indonesia. I got a villa in Bali. You can stay with me, rent free, blah, 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 right? My point is, as a third option, you might consider doing that, right? This is not financial advice. It's not legal advice. Obviously, do your own research and you take on your own risks. But literally, if you're still young, in your 20s, early 30s, mid 30s even, you can afford to screw up and back up again if you screwed up and lost everything. It's your final chance. So you might want to consider taking that chance. And the fourth option is at the moment while you're still working, if for nothing else, you might go for higher income. So like, for example, I have relatives of mine, they kept switching jobs every 6 to 12 months. They'd change employers, and every time they changed, their pay grade went up and up and up. He doesn't tell me exactly, but I estimate about 300,000, 200,000-ish per year pay. And the purpose of increasing your pay is not to work hard. It's so that you have more money set aside to invest. Because that's the only two ways you're going to be free in the long term. You're either going to be investing your way to freedom, i.e. collecting assets that earn rent, collecting assets that earn income, or collecting assets that go up in value, such as Bitcoin, that go up in value higher than inflation, real inflation, right? That's the investing side. On the business side, that's the other way you're going to be free, is creating a business and growing a business or buying a business. But most of the time, it's creating or growing a business from basically startup to then becoming a 7-figure business, 8-figure business and beyond. Okay, and that will earn you freedom. Currently, I'm looking for properties here. I can do this. This is a weekday. It's a time where people should be going to work, but I'm allowed to do whatever I want because I've earned it, right? And so that should be your goal at the moment. It's freeing up more time to focus on business and being aware that your way out, one of those two things, investing your way out, growing a business towards your way out. I'm just checking time. I think we've already reached our limit for this video, so I'll start posting videos on this channel. I did say I would tell you how I grow a business from 0 to millions in 18 months. I'll put that video as a different video on this channel just because we went over time. Again, this is my first video, so go easy on me. But at the moment, my focus is on helping as many people as I can, which means that if you feel grateful for what I have put forward in this video, check out my other videos, subscribe to this channel, share this video to anybody who needs to see it. Just check out my other videos, and hopefully by following this channel, you can eventually get free and then live life. All right, so we'll see you in the next video, and till then, take care.